Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room, and you return the favor.
Gonorrhea. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay.
I got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Terrence Pop here with another episode that actually is live from the lair. All right. We are now in 2024, current year. We have watched the dictator-in-chief who was installed in 2020 basically single-handedly destroy this economy, destroy our civilization. And we heard it from his own dictator-in-chief lips in like 2019-ish that he assembled the greatest election fiasco craziness in all of history, and everyone totally ignored it. And then we watched the actual 2020 election go down. And roughly after midnight, thousands upon thousands of ballots magically appear. Nobody does anything about it. The media is literally pushing the lie down our throat that this was legitimate. And we have literally been watching the fallout. We covered one of the incidents that took place in Muskegon, Michigan, that was completely ignored. And there's been some other small cases around here that talk about, election fraud and what have you.
Small cases?
Small cases. All right. They're not small cases, but I'm just saying. Now, has anything really changed? Not really. Okay, the media is not talking about this because they've been bought and paid for by the WEF or China. Who knows? But we are going to see more shenanigans of epic proportion take place across this entire country, especially in the swing states, which I and the Battle Dwarf are members of, which is Michigan. And there's been some laws pushed through that, they can't question the results of any election craziness because, in my opinion, they are really going to try to re-steal this election because they have no choice. Because if they lose, we are going to get the keys to the castle and dig into their ass, and shit's going to get real. So they have no choice but to do 110% attempt to steal this election as well, despite the fact that we have a dictator-in-chief who's a walking Mr. Potato Head now. He's out of his goddamn mind. His son is a drug dealer. There's all kinds of corruption on the table that's being ignored by the alphabet agencies. We now have a police force and a law enforcement aspects of this country that is the equivalent to a banana republic. In fact, we went through this a few weeks ago. We are 27th out of the world as one of the most corrupt nations. All right, and we're going to dig into this today.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are going to. We have a schematic and a map that is going to blow your fucking mind. And it was assembled by a whole bunch of retired 30-pound brain motherfuckers who used to pull switches and push buttons in the intel community. Take it away, Battle Dwarf.
Why me?
Because listen,
is it always me?
Because you got this fucking down.
You caught me arranging the map, actually, that we were talking about.
Yeah. We don't have, we don't have to start with that.
Well, no, I'm not going to start with it, but I just wanted it in a certain position for when we do get to it, because our gentle viewers are going to shit themselves. And this is a disclaimer. Nothing we show you here tonight is meant to provoke anybody to commit any acts of violence in any way, shape, or form, despite the content that you are about to see.
Correct. We're just here to educate you.
Vote harder, children. Vote harder.
Vote harder.
So this article is from March of last year. One by one, the presenters inside the crowded hotel ballroom share their computer screens and promise to show how easy it is to hack into voting systems across the U.S. Drawing gasps from the crowd, they highlighted theoretical vulnerabilities in programs for past elections, but instead of tailoring their efforts to improve election security, they argued that all voting machines should be eliminated. A message that was wrapped in conspiracies about elections being rigged in favor certain candidates.
I literally think we should get rid of all of the computer craziness.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there. This next line is my personal favorite because the Freedom Seeds, they say a year ago, we were at war. The only thing that's not flying right now is bullets. Guess what? That's a true story.
Okay.
That's absolutely a true story. We are definitely at war right now.
Yes.
They have just learned to use education, voting, economics, media, and panic pandemics as their weapons of choice, along with human carpet bombs.
Well,
we did a whole episode on that.
It's a PSYOP war.
Yes.
All right. And, the mainstream media is not on our side.
No.
And we have a whole bunch of small little channels, which I'm one of, that are speaking the truth, you guys. So it's up to you to please, after this is over, share this far and wide, because this is our country here.
Yeah.
And this next election is going to determine if we're going to keep going down a road of peace or something else.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Look, with the voting machine thing, there is a movement going on right now. It's funny that this came out a year ago, because I've been watching the process in the state of Michigan, where we have rounded up the names and addresses and phone numbers and emails of every county clerk and township clerk in the entire state. We have 119 counties. In Lapeer alone, I believe it's 47 townships. We have a pretty big county. And we've been contacting them. The Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, has been going insane, because we have opened several lawsuits against them just here in the state of Michigan. There are other places this is happening as well, but Michigan's the one that I'm intimately familiar with. Here's what you do. You're a voter, yeah. So you go, you vote. And that's as far as most people ever get. You don't know anything about it. Now, I did this myself. I tried this myself, because shady shit has been going on in the state of Michigan and in other states. Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Arizona's had problems.
Georgia.
Bunch of others. Georgia. That's right. That's
Wisconsin,
right.
Minnesota.
Do you remember the reporter Tracy Beans?
Yep.
We helped her do all of her analysis as well. The map that we're going to look at later, we have one for Georgia as well. I just don't have it up right now. At any rate, you can go to your county clerk and you can say, I want all of my voting information. I want everything you have on me, my voting information. That'll give you your whole voting record. So I pulled my voting record, and in 2019, I voted from an address I hadn't been at since 2017.
Yep.
I had 3 different voter IDs.
And if you, first of all, you can ask for your voter info because it's covered under FOIA.
Yes, and it is your information.
And it is your info.
That voter information is yours.
And where do you get this at? Your county
clerk.
building? County clerk
Or township clerk. You can go to your township clerk as well. Can I zoom your camera so we can see what you're doing over there?
I'm just I have brain damage, so I have to put this in.
You have brain damage?
Yes. County clerk, or what is the other one?
Township clerk.
Township. TWP.
TWP clerk.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to misspell TWP.
That's okay. I can spell stuff. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But everyone out there could do this.
Do it. Because here's what happened next. So I get all of this information, right? And what the county didn't know is there was about 300 of us that had been talking at meetings for weeks about this. One by one, we all went in and did this. And the county's like, oh, hey, oh, shit. Oh, shit. So all of a sudden.
What you're describing here is called grassroots.
Yes, that's correct. All of a sudden, the other counties get wind of this, and they start talking to the Secretary of State, who passes out a memo that says, oh, we have to delete all of this information from the elections because that's what the regulations say. Except there is no regulation.
There is no regulation.
So I take my voter information to the county police, the township police, and I file a vote fraud investigation.
Hang on. We got to write that down. Vote.
I pull up a bunch of my power bills. I pull up my mortgage, my deed for my house, all of that stuff. And I show him and I say, hey, these are wrong. And why do I have 3 different voter IDs here?
Yeah.
Now, the cop I spoke to is the boots on the ground guy. It's officer friendly. He's the one patrolling the streets. He's pretty receptive to the whole thing. And he takes it in. And about 3 days later, I get a call. Hey, we got to push this up to the county sheriff. I'm like, that makes sense.
Okay.
I understand. Push it up to the county sheriff. And it goes to this detective who is known for being the guy who only takes the cases that will make him look good, and he's getting ready to retire anyway, and he hems and haws. And
so asshat,
asshat detective.
Detective asshat. Yeah, detective. I know many of them.
Detective asshat.
Yes.
And then my case quietly goes away, but all of the sudden, now there's
300
or 300 other cases. Some people's voter registrations were not messed with.
Well, hang on.
They're smart enough not to mess with them all.
Well, hang on. So your case went away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize you have a federal lawsuit against them for doing that?
Like this federal government is going to do
it's just headaches. They're going to have to defend it.
Yeah, I understand.
If you have 1,000 fucking people doing this,
yes,
it gets really fucking expensive.
That's what we're building up to here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because we ran this experiment in our county.
I'm so spun up. I'm jumping over.
I get it. We ran this experiment in our county to see what would happen.
Uh-huh.
And there were a couple of other counties. And of course, because I'm old and my thinking meat is damaged, I can't name the other counties right now except for Macomb.
Oh, there's Lapeer, Oakland, Macomb.
Well, no, that we did the experiment.
Oh, yeah.
There were a couple of others. There's a sheriff in one of the counties whose name is Darleaf, who is really pushing this now. What we are going after is all of this electronic information. When you vote and they use machines, clearly can be corrupted. I looked at my corrupted data. I have copies of my corrupted data.
I'm going to go down to the state and do that, the county and do that shit tomorrow.
Everybody should do this.
Yeah.
Everybody should do this. This is a way we could really put them on notice. All you have to do is go down to your township office and say, I want all of my voter information. And they must give it to you.
Yes.
If they tell you no, you take down their name and the date and the time, and you file a formal complaint with the township. If the township pushes back, you file with the county, and so on and so forth. But if enough people are doing this, it causes so much heat that they have to do something. Here's what happened in our county. We pushed and pushed and pushed, and they tried to push back and say, you can't get any of this information anymore. We're going to make it so you can't get it. And we're like,
good luck
perfect.
with that.
Because Michigan law, they had been panicking and reacting. We put them in a reactive state.
Which is good because you make mistakes when you react.
Anytime you study warfare, one of the very first things you learn is that you want to keep your opponent, your enemy,
reacting
in a reactive state.
You don't want them to set up.
Especially in asymmetric warfare.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Especially it's like the primo moment. If you can get them rocked on their heels and just keep whack, 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 and you can take on an enormous force with like a few dozen guys.
Yes. And guess what? He thinks like me. Everything is fucking war, including this administrative horseshit.
It's exactly it. It's exactly it. So what ended up happening is the state tried to say you can't do that. We had already done the homework. We already had the lawsuits drawn up. By we, I mean the county, the group of people that I was working with. I did a lot of the research for them. I wasn't one of the frontline guys for this next portion. I was just reading the laws and handing them pieces of paper, said, here, try this. The state immediately began breaking the law, saying that you can't have your information. We're not going to cooperate with you. Now there are 3 lawsuits in the state of Michigan going after the state for this. The Secretary of State herself, Jocelyn Benson, she's trying to insert herself into the Macomb case as a defendant.
Ooh.
Now, when somebody that high up the food chain tries to insert themselves as the person who might be guilty of going to jail, what does that tell you?
That they don't really fear it.
They're panicking.
Well, one, they think they can get away with it.
They think that she's high enough up the food chain that we won't pursue it.
Ah, so it's a bluff.
We kept pursuing. Guess what? She withdrew.
Oh, good. Why'd you let her withdraw? You should just keep her in there and sue the shit out of her.
No, there was a way that she was able to withdraw from that.
All right, yeah, okay. We're talking legalese 3-shell Monty bullshit.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. I'm old. My mouth dries out quickly. I make a terrible hooker.
Yeah.
So you've got these 3 lawsuits going. That's where we're at right now in the state of Michigan. Look, we know all of this voter fraud stuff is going on. We know it's going across all of the states. Here in Michigan, here's another one. Governor Whitner signs historic election bills package to ensure every vote can be cast and counted. What she's done is ensure that everybody can vote from the comfort of their home using pretty much anonymous mail-in absentee ballots, which can't be accounted for.
It can't be verified, tested, or accounted for.
And Michigan just got 1.4 illegal aliens.
1.4
million illegal
yeah.
aliens.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
A bunch of states are doing this.
I'm telling you right now.
A bunch of states doing this.
If they really go crazy with the selection stuff in
Yeah.
2024, it is going to get dynamic.
They're doing it now. This is something that if you've got the time, if you have any time at all, or if you know anybody who cares that has the time, your pathway in is through the townships. Start pulling that election data now, because I guarantee you they're doing this shit. I absolutely guarantee it. So one of the clauses in here that's not in this document here, I found it in the actual draft of the bill, but of course I forgot to pull that up, but
That's
doesn't matter.
It happens.
Here's what it boils down to. Once an election has taken place in the state of Michigan, you will only have something like 24 hours to question it.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Which amounts to no time at all.
There's no reaction time.
Yeah. There's no reaction time at all. What they're doing is ensuring that once they throw their fraudulent election in your face,
you can't do anything about
can't
it.
even challenge it.
Yeah.
Which is insane. The whole premise of this Bolshevik revolution that's going on is the same thing that it's always been. Oh, look, Comrade Kim won by 98.9% of the vote. Oh, look, Comrade Castro won by 99% of the vote. You see
kind of like Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least Putin is like letting the Russians be Russians, though.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a benevolent dictator. Yes, he'll kill you if you piss him off in any way, shape, or form. But meanwhile, there's vodka and blinis for everybody. So, I mean, if you have to have a dictator, that doesn't suck.
All right. But here's the thing, though. This is happening in my own state.
Yeah.
So I'm very upset at this. And the governor we have, the way she handled the whole COOF bullshit, she literally ruined the economy of the state by closing down 2/3 of the businesses because she put out a mandate that they weren't legitimate or they weren't necessary.
She tried to prosecute a barber.
Yeah.
And a woman who had a diner over in Holland.
Correct. Yeah, this is going to get out of hand. I'm just saying, this is going to get really out of hand.
Don't spiral me down the lockdown hole.
All right, sorry.
Because I will go off.
Let's pull you back.
Crazy on that.
Pull you back from the lockdown hole.
Crazy on that.
We're on the voting hole now, so we'll lower you in there. Let's lower you in there.
Lockdown hole right now. A sampling of recent election fraud cases from across the United States. This is the Heritage Foundation's election fraud database. And this is just a sample of all of the stuff that's gone on. 1,499 proven instances of voter fraud, 1,275 criminal convictions, 56 civil penalties, diversion program. What is a diversion program?
That's probably when you're guilty and they give you some other bullshit.
That's possible. I should have looked into what a diversion program is there. My bad. 26 judicial findings and 22 official findings. Look, 1,499 cases of election fraud. Let's break out the calculating device really fast here. Because
we're trying to figure out the convictions to the proven instances of voter fraud, or
50. That's 30 cases of election fraud per state.
That's pretty significant.
That is a significant amount.
And that doesn't even talk about the ones that are ignored, because we had the big one in Muskegon.
Mine was ignored.
Yeah.
And it was right there in front of you. You could see that I had voted from an address that I hadn't been at in years.
Yeah. I'm gonna go pull mine and find out what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. This is what they were able to find. This doesn't count all of the ones that were ignored, swept under the rug, or blatantly just burned away. Just the sheer amount of, pick a random state. Hey, Jimmy Bones, pick a state.
We'll go with my state. We'll go with Nebraska.
Nebraska. Where is Nebraska?
Right there.
Right in the middle.
I thought so.
There we go.
Look at that. I got it right on the first try. 2023. How about that? Larry Divis, ineligible voting. What? You're in Nebraska, right?
Yep.
Why is Ali Abdullahi voting in Nebraska?
Yeah.
He's probably the. I
And
couldn't tell you. Probably some.
Shuaib Ali.
He
Wow.
probably owns a gas station or a couple motels.
Do you guys have the Pajit thing there in Nebraska?
There was actually one. There's a couple of them in my area actually, and one of them actually got locked up for bootlegging and tax evasion.
They like to do that. We're heavily infested with them. I was very surprised to see these in Nebraska.
Nebraska.
That baffled me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A pleaded no contest to voting twice in the 2016 general election, voted early in October, and turned up at the polls again in November to cast another ballot. He was fined $100. Hey, Ali Abdullahi, how about we deport you?
That would be nice.
That would be nice, yeah.
Larry Divis, 2023, was charged by the state in Colfax County with one felony count of election falsification. Divis was a resident of Columbus, but falsely claimed he resided in Richland, where he registered and voted in the 2020 general election. There was a woman in Ohio. Do you remember this? She voted like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And then they had her on TV bragging about how she had voted 5 or 6 times, and she was proud of herself that she had voted 5 or 6 times.
They didn't do anything to her? No.
I think they gave her a $100 fine per instance or something like that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. We need to start taking this shit serious, because this is going to wind up, turning into something really bad.
This is not being taken seriously because of the problems I mentioned before. We made our Secretary of State flinch by showing up and actually doing something about it. There's a meeting that I was going to attend tonight in Shelby, but I'm here doing this show instead because this is more important to me, because I know other people will be attending that meeting, and tomorrow morning I can make my phone call, talk to those people, and get all
notes.
the information that I needed.
Yeah.
But
this is our fucking country, gentlemen. This is serious fucking business. All right, just think about that. This country has been around for over 200 years. It started off as an experiment in freedom. And over the past 50 years, we've watched it literally be chipped away, killed by 1,000 paper cuts. And I believe the final blows is going to come here in 2024 or shortly thereafter. And I hope that we can pull back from this craziness. But if it gets bad, I mean, China had the red uprising in 79 to 81.
Oh, the real brutal one was 1953.
No, I'm talking about the most recent one where they had 15 million people die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was just a minor speed bump over there in China.
Yeah.
All right, now 15 million people who die in this country, some shit like that, that's a serious fucking event. That's 5% or 6% of the gross population. That is a serious thing. All right. And we need to take it serious. So pay attention.
Yeah, this is basically, if we don't start doing some of this stuff, if we don't start pushing back, your vote doesn't count for anything. This is how you make your vote count. The organization, the meeting that is actually about halfway over now in Shelby, actually it's wrapping up in Shelby, is how to organize and how to put your county together into grand juries, because guess what? It turns out there's a law where the American people in counties with the county commission can put together a grand jury, and you can hold people in your county accountable and try them right there.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
With the public, with we the people, that whole thing where we're the government.
Yes.
This is how you do it. So I'm going to get that information tomorrow morning. We'll add that to one of our shows as well, because you can fight back.
We can call it election insurrection.
There you go.
But we're not doing anything illegal. It's all on the books.
Has already happened.
Yeah.
You're watching the insurrection.
Yes.
Right now. You're watching the insurgency.
Correct.
Okay. So all of this stuff with these elections, the way that they're doing this to shut us down, it's no coincidence that, and those of you who are older, you need to be at least in the 55 bracket to have taken civics in junior high school and in high school.
I would say 50 to 52.
They shut civics down when I was a sophomore, which was 85.
Huh. I don't remember that. Okay.
But that's where you learned
About your government.
about our government
shit
and
went
how we, the people, are supposed to be the ones in charge. The language has been changed. Now you have politicians. Now you have leaders. They used to be called representatives. They also used to have another name that nobody uses anymore.
Which is?
See? You don't know.
I don't know.
Public servant.
Ah.
Yep. Do you remember the term public servant?
Well, everyone who works for the government, elected or installed, is technically a public servant.
What does that make you?
That makes you, you're accountable to the people because you are their servant. You are not their leader.
It makes you, Mr. Elected Official, Mr. Bureaucrat working at the freaking whatever, the driver's license bureau, whatever that, you are a public servant, right? You're the hired fucking help. You know what you do to somebody who is the hired help when you catch them with their fucking hand in the cookie jar, when you catch them stealing, when you catch them freaking cutting deals for their buddies? Do you know what you do with that person? You fire them. And if the crime is egregious enough, you put them in jail. And if the crime is particularly egregious enough, there's a tree, I got a rope.
Extreme chiropractic.
Yeah. I remember when we used to tar and feather those kind of people.
I'm for that. I am for bringing tarring and feathering back. The important part of my little freaking off the rail rant there is this. Start calling these people what they are. Stop calling them what they want you to call them. Whatever they call themselves on TV, that's not what they are. They're public servants. They are the hired help. We need to start treating them like the hired help.
Yep.
If you're a guy who has a house with enough money that you've got a butler, he's the hired help. You catch him stealing the family silver,
Gone.
And doing jail time. These people are that. That's what they are to this.
But they've been getting away with it for so long. They're now blatant about it. They're it's not covert, it's overt now.
It's overt. Exactly. Which is why it's so important that we start calling these public servants out on this. There's another factor here that was also taught in civics once upon a time that is no longer taught that I want to bring up. The states, the United States, it's a federated republic. What does that mean? It's basically 50 countries.
Yes.
Under one banner. The federal government was set up to be a small, minimal government. Their only job was to negotiate
Tariffs.
differences between the states.
Well, there's tariffs.
Foreign
national
trade,
defense.
which is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
National defense, foreign diplomacy,
Correct.
and to manage our borders. Basically,
4 things.
the federal government's job was to be the consigliere to the mafia that is the United States of America.
Correct.
The consigliere negotiates between each of the families, which means each of the states. Now we've got a federal government that is basically telling you that they own all of the states and by proxy, all of you. And I know there's guys out there that, oh, you can sovereign citizen. Oh, they own you through Social Security, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's cute and everything.
You can try that, but more than likely they'll laugh at you and still throw you in jail, and they fuck all you can do about it.
But the thing that you can do is start pushing back at this township level, because here's the thing. You're not wrong. You're just focusing on the wrong item. Those pieces of paper don't mean shit. Because if you get the federal government in check, that piece of paper doesn't mean anything anymore. Because the dog is on the leash and properly chained in the yard where it belongs.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about a piece of paper. Things like income tax is blatantly illegal.
Yes.
Income tax is founded in
that was what
1913.
yeah, right around World War One-ish.
With the Federal Reserve.
And it was supposed to be temporary
for
war
to raise forces to fight in a war that we didn't belong in anyway. That's another rabbit hole that I won't go down right now, but I know a hell of a lot about that one as well. So that income tax was supposed to be capped at 3%. You're now paying anywhere between 20
and 47%.
47%, depending on your income of your money. How much of your money does the federal government own?
Well, let's look at this. You work, you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
They take your income tax.
Yes.
Then you go to buy your goods, and you're taxed on those.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you save up enough money, which you're taxed on twice.
Yeah.
You buy a house.
Which is
it goes up in value.
Yes.
You decide to sell it. They tax that as well.
Capital gains.
They tax you when you're born, when you die, and 1,000 ways in between. It's fucking out of control.
Yes.
And we can do a whole show on that. On
the
taxes.
only reason that they get let's do a show on that.
Yeah, let me write that down.
Let's do a show on that. Maybe we can even
be fun.
make a musical. That'd be funny.
I don't participate in musical.
I'm going to make you
please
participate in a Broadway musical.
Oh, come on, Pop. We already know you do musicals. Come on now.
He does. He does.
Come on. You remember Vegas.
Good timing.
Is that not? Come on, Pop. You do musicals.
Paging Mr. Von Baum. Look up the Oklahoma number when the wind blows comes rolling down the road.
Stop it.
Nice.
You fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh my God.
Anyway, you got all these things that this federal government is doing now, and they have no business doing. Again, the way to push back is through the townships, up through the counties, and into the states. That's where we can actually take things back. That's the path. That's the path. And I know there's FBI agents with little pads and pencils waiting for me to say, and then you can pick up the weapon.
No, we're not doing that. This is our weapon.
Yep.
This and this.
Yes.
We can shit talk. Yep. We can fill out paperwork and file lawsuits.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't listen to Maxine.
That's what we can do now.
Don't listen to Maxine Waters when she went on the news channel the other day saying, "Oh, Trump supporters are training in the hills and they're going to uprise and this and that." I'm like, lady,
you know what that is for women like Maxine Waters, Jimmy? You know what that is? That's called a masturbatory fantasy.
But here's the thing.
These women want big, strong rednecks driving monster trucks with huge guns and big schlongs to come down to Washington, D.C. and give them the rogering they've never had in their life.
But let's be realistic here. The alphabet agencies, they marshal and operate out of the big cities.
Yes.
Okay. Say you got, 500 to 2,000 guys up in the boonies that are organized to, do whatever. What are you really going to do to them? You're going to have to call up like the state National Guard to come out. And listen, if there's all kinds of craziness going on with, the election and there's all kinds of questions, there's probably a lot of people on that force that are not going to be very motivated to show up to fall in line and do that.
The way the alphabets do this is the way that they've been doing it since Randy Weaver and before. They find one guy.
Yep.
That's well known within that community, that organization, that community, that thing. And they pick him off. And they kill his wife while she's holding her baby in the backyard.
Yeah.
What that does
really
is send a very strong message. And it causes, most of the time, what it causes is nobody to keep people from rallying. We've seen that fail once, the Bundy Ranch. When they tried to roll onto the ranch and hundreds of farmers showed up, took an overpass, and held the federal government off.
Yep.
Later on, they ambushed Cliven Bundy in an obvious rabbit ambush.
Yeah, and he got off he went to court and they found him not guilty.
No, Lavoy Finicum, I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Lavoy Finicum, the old guy that was in a convoy, and they did a rabbit ambush on him. Which is, where they come in, they hit the column, and the guy in the front rabbits. That's the guy that they wanted. Then they pick him off up the road. That's what happened with Lavoy Finicum. They drove him into a snowdrift. He gets out. He's like a 65-year-old man. He's up to his waist in snow. They shoot him dead anyway. When they obviously didn't have to shoot him.
Yeah, well, that happens. Yeah, that's not. Listen, that's the kind.
Sending.
Well, that's the kind of shit.
Units.
That's the kind of behavior that's going to kick this shit off.
Yeah,
because this is so fucking obvious now. There's over half the country is lividly pissed.
Yeah,
and it's going to take something like that to happen for a lot of people to go, "What? This is insane. Next is going to be me. Fuck this. Shit's going to go down." Now, I don't want that to happen.
No,
I'm old. All right. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see my friends or anyone else get, tore up from the floor up. I hope we could fucking pull out of this nosedive. I really do.
He's seen a lot more of the shooty stuff than I have by light years. Even what little I saw, I don't want that happening on my home soil. I don't.
No,
I do not want that happening on my home soil. I would much rather go through the township clerks, make my way up to the state and take our country back that way. Yep. And put the federal government back where it belongs as the consigliere of the 50 families.
Because that's how we lost it. We literally were sitting there. Well, everything's fine. Oh, the election's coming up. But back in the background, they're taking over the schools.
Yes.
They're taking over the schools all the way up through college.
The media.
They bought the media.
News,
we have
all of that stuff.
Disney is about to go fucking bankrupt because they've been producing.
Oh, they can't handle it anymore.
Commie propaganda for at least 7 years now. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So this next piece here is on election security, and what this does is highlight these voter machines that are being used. To recap the county things I was talking about, one of the things we're pushing for is getting the clerks at the township level. The clerks have a say. They can say, this election machine, I don't feel it's
up to par.
It's safe. I don't feel it's safe. I'm going to issue paper ballots, and we're going to count paper ballots. And the Michigan Secretary of State is already losing their shit over that.
Yeah.
That we're doing that. And they're trying to tell them, no, you have to use the electronic machines. Well, why?
Well, first of all,
why do we have to use the
electronic? All right, hypothetically, after the 2020, installation, I looked at reports that had, Cobo Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Their election machines were actively on the internet.
Look, I know Pat.
You're not supposed to have them hooked up to the internet.
The former senator, Pat Colbeck,
yeah,
for the state of Michigan. Dude is literally a rocket scientist. I mean, that's what his profession was before he became a senator.
All right. Well,
he was down there when that happened. I was on the phone with him at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was telling me about the vans that are pulling into Cobo Hall. They're pulling wagons full of boxes full of ballots.
Yep.
Off of these and dragging them in there to count them. Meanwhile, union thugs are forcing out anybody who's trying to get in there and watch this activity.
But
while other guys are papering over the windows, there's tons of.
Here's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Say in 2020 that was starting to happen, but you had 1,000 dudes exercising their Second Amendment.
Mm-hmm. Just
walk in there and just say, "What's going on?"
You could have done it with 50, but yes.
But then, they'd be like, wait, what? Because now it is a force on force.
Yeah.
Where are these boxes? Yeah. Where, basically like, okay, you have a bunch of ballots. Can I please see the schedule of, custody?
Yeah.
If there's a break in the chain of custody, they are invalid by virtually every state law that we have across the country.
I had an idea right off the bat when all of that happened because they're pulling in these secret boxes and everything like that. Okay, we'll count them. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to reopen the floor in Cobo Hall where we used to freaking watch the Red Wings play, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get some ring girls.
Huh?
And we're going to get a Don King announcer out there with freaking, what was the wrestlers, the wrestler announcer, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to count the ballots one at a time in the middle of that floor with everybody watching. Every last ballot with ring girls. So that we know that every ballot at the ring girls is just add to the attraction of the whole thing and more people will watch.
I'm familiar with Cobo Hall. I fought there quite a few times.
There you have it. At any rate, make it a spectacle.
Yeah.
You want a spectacle? We'll give you a spectacle. We'll
Whatever
count
happened to
every
the
last vote.
days where you had an election, by midnight they knew who won?
Yeah.
Why do we now? It's supposed to be easier with computers, but somehow, it's going to take 2 weeks to do. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Every Powerball ticket they know within 20 minutes. Every winner, everywhere from $1 to $100 to $1 million to the Powerball itself.
Yeah.
Within 20 minutes, they know every single winner and where that ticket was sold. And you're telling me that we can't do this with election ballots. Here's the other.
They can't do it because they're fucking with the data.
Well, no, stop. They're not doing that.
That when you're talking about the Powerball, the last one was like 1.8 billion or something like that, won by a Taiwanese immigrant that had cancer. Good for him and whatnot.
Good for him.
Good for him. He's going to use it for paying off his bills and whatnot. Good for him. But you're not getting that whole 1.8 billion. You're getting like 450 million.
You're getting just under half.
Jimmy. Whatever will I do with $450 million?
Yeah.
I mean, still,
I
yeah,
think you've missed the point entirely.
I'm still saying I wouldn't complain with that, but I'm still saying you're still not getting the whole thing because you're getting bent over and the invisible hand is going right up your ass.
Hey, Jimmy, you know what you're getting? You're not getting the whole thing. You're getting just the tip.
No homo.
You're going to have balls banging off your balls.
Here's the point. They can count and know the election results by midnight. They can.
Correct.
They used to do it. I'm old enough to remember it. Pop clearly remembers it. Election security claim is under greater scrutiny in 2024 in the wake of Trump fraud election claims. Now, we just saw data that indicated there have been 1,500 cases of documented court-tried election fraud.
That's 30 per state.
Former President Trump, who remains the GOP frontrunner in spite of his legal woes, has continued to make unsupported claims of voter fraud since he left office and hit the campaign trail for his third consecutive White House bid. Unsupported claims of voter fraud. Trump's claims have weakened public trust in the American election system, which state and federal officials are now trying to strengthen.
Yeah, okay. They've done fuck all for the most part.
The state and federal election systems have weakened the faith of the people in the state and federal election systems. It is obvious when you have. Okay, first of all, do you know how many people show up for an election?
You're lucky to get 50% of
that's
the
registration. Big turnout.
Yeah, that's a big turnout.
That's a big turnout.
That's why I said you're lucky to get half.
Usually 20 to 30% of
I
eligible voters.
It's a good year if you get 37% around there.
We had counties here in Michigan, and I know this happened in other states as well, where we had like 105% turnout.
Yeah. Well, how is that
there
possible?
Was a state in Pennsylvania, a county in Pennsylvania that had like 130% turnout.
Yeah, they dug people up from the graveyard to vote.
That right there, fraud vitiates all contracts. It's obvious fraud. You're already over 100%. You know that 50% is wow, everybody turned out. That's a fucking hard fought election. Everybody turned out. 25 to 37% is the window of normalcy for an election. When you've got a county that's got 100%, 147% of the people voting.
Yep. Get out of here.
It's done. Your election is false.
It's cooked and booked. Yeah.
The whole thing is cooked. I would say that anything over 55%.
It's questionable.
Should be vigorously investigated.
All right. Now, we know that most of the law enforcement in this country has been bought and paid for. I hate to say this.
Yeah.
Listen, I have lots of friends who are cops.
Yep.
And those guys, for the most part, are cool from what I know. But let's face it.
The boots on the ground guys are all right, mostly.
Well, the thing is like it's the same thing happening in the police forces that's happening in the military. You're getting communists, socialists, liberals, diversity hires going up the pyramid to get promoted to control everything. They're not qualified to be there. They're easily corrupted. They don't have the experience to do the job correctly, and it's a huge fucking clusterfuck. God, I am so spun up. I can't stop swearing. What? Fuck! I'm so pissed. All right, listen. Yeah. I'm going to have to pull out that one phrase that's worse than fuck. Butt fucked in the dick hole. This election, we are all going to get butt fucked in the dick hole, okay? That's going to happen.
I'm going to demonstrate to you with an example, real world, that happened today where I work. The office that I work in, the boss is your run-of-the-mill University of Michigan graduate. He's roughly my age.
Be careful.
And today, he literally hired a new receptionist that should probably be on the 4th floor at Beaumont.
Oh, the psych ward? Huh.
I mean, obviously, clearly, and he did it because DEI. He did it because he didn't want to not hire her because he was afraid of a lawsuit, it looks like.
Okay.
It looks like that's why.
All right. Well, things happen.
To the point where she comes with her own job coach, paid for and appointed by the state.
That's bad. Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah.
Well, nice enough. She's very timid.
Well, hopefully that she'll be able to like grow into the job and do it fine. We'll see.
We'll see. I've never heard of a job coach.
Neither have I. That's fucking bizarre.
It is.
But in the long run, what are you going to do?
Fortunately, I work at the other end of the building, and I had a lot of work to do today, and I didn't see a lot of that. But that's the state of normal affairs in suburban and urban America right now, though, is the point that I'm trying to make.
Yes.
Is people who have no business being in positions are really being hired.
They're actually removing a lot of the police physical standards for female cops.
Yes.
So literally, all right, I am not a proponent of females being in any position where they engage in direct violence against men.
Any position that requires a great degree of physicality normally attributed to the male physique.
Correct. Now, what is that going to do for, say you're a dude, you're like 6 feet, you're 210, decent, you're in good shape, you're on the younger side, and they give you a sack of potatoes that doesn't have to pass any physical standards. You are literally being sent out there into the streets with a huge handicap. And it's the same thing with active duty soldiers.
Absolutely.
All right.
Some of the comments are seriously funny.
If I get recalled, I'm going to tell you right now, I will not take orders from a female infantry officer, and I will not take orders from a trans individual. I will not do it.
I know how to fail a PT test.
No, I literally
I do.
I've had a couple of dreams about this where I'm like, yeah. Can you tell me where the MP station is? And literally go there and say, can you please open the cell? Because I'm going to stay in here because I'm not fucking playing. I'm done.
37. 37. 37. Oh, that's you. You need 2 more. I can't do it.
All right, yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole.
I am going down a rabbit hole. So, while Trump's claims of fraud have been disproven, no, they haven't.
They've not
even cited in his 4th indictment. No, in Georgia, the allegations have put greater scrutiny on how votes are cast and counted, especially as technology is rapidly advancing to attack voter infrastructure and sow public discord. This is the Georgia case that we're talking about at the beginning of the show. I would say the greatest threat is probably the unknown threat that emerging technology has to do with AI, said Connie Utoff, director of cybersecurity master's program at George Washington. Just because of the capabilities and things that people can already do, and it's not even 2024 yet. With deep fakes, people can make fake videos, fake emails at a scale that's never been seen before, and add a sophistication that hasn't been able to be seen before, and it can undermine the faith that people have in our own democratic processes and in the elections. 1, we're not a democracy, we are a federal republic. 2, who has the money and resources to carry out that kind of deep fake activity?
Probably the big tech companies.
Usually
that Google runs the internet, so does Microsoft. They can all do that.
Yeah, they can.
Facebook, he's already been caught red-handed donating hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Remember what I showed you earlier?
Yeah.
the map?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that. Look, we literally are in a situation here where we have so much information to show you tonight.
We're not going to have enough
show
time.
you all of it. There's no way we will get through this. I think I have 25 tabs.
We could do it in 3 hours without super chats.
Yeah,
But you got to get home. So
and without supervision.
yes.
How bad could the 2024 election be? The next presidential.
Is this one being shared?
Could trigger. Yeah, it is now. I just hit the shared.
Okay, there we go.
I'm making sure. I'm not fucking up this time.
All right.
I remember last week I went through a whole tab without sharing it, and a couple of the guys in the chat were like, "You're not sharing the tab." And I'm like, "Oh no, I got this. And then I noticed I wasn't sharing the tab, and I'm like, "Okay,
Fucking up by the numbers.
My bad." Sometimes like a Shakespeare anti-hero confiding in the audience, Donald Trump blurts out his true motives. This week, he did it again. Lawmakers who want to tweak the Electoral Count Act, according to Trump, are essentially admitting that Mike Pence did have a right to challenge the outcome, and now they want to take that right away. Unfortunately, he didn't exercise that power. He could have overturned the election. Basically, the Bolsheviks who are in charge of our government right now want to do one of two things with the Electoral College. Abolish it and make us a true democracy, which would mean that Chicago, New York, Atlanta, and Los Angeles control the election.
Yeah, it would really descend into absolute anarchy.
Or they want to front load the Electoral College, which would basically amount to the same thing. Because they want to add more electors to that college based on the number of people in states that they happen to be flooding with illegal aliens.
Correct.
Now, I don't know what their motive could be for that.
Yes.
That maybe something like
that. This is not gonna end well.
So I'm going to imagine that most of our viewers know what an electoral college is and what it's for. But on the off chance that there are a few out there, maybe in foreign countries, that don't understand our electoral college, because of the way America is set up, you've got states like Nevada and Colorado and North Dakota, where the population basically amounts to, you could fit it on a school bus.
They're flyover states is what they're referred to.
That's where all of our agriculture is.
That's absolutely correct.
States. You could fit the population in a school bus. And then you've got states like California, where one small town in the right county, like LA, you could repopulate 7 of those flyover states. So we have an electoral college, which means that all of the votes from that state go to the electoral college, and then the electoral college casts the vote for the president. We don't directly elect our president. The electoral college does that. And they are meant to go with the will of the people. That way, with that electoral college in each of the 50 states, every state has a voice. It gives each state the opportunity to be heard. And that's what our electoral college is about.
Correct. And I'm just gonna throw this out there, that if this gets dynamic and we're on the right side and we get to reassemble this whole thing, every county in every state, if I have my say, will have a vote for the governor. That way, you can't have, like, Michigan is being run by like 3 cities.
Yes.
They run the entire fucking state.
Yes, because of the population.
So if the Democrats or the next political party that wants to sell their fucking bullshit, they're going to have to sell it to each and every county. And once they have a majority of counties, then they can win with the state electoral college. Because right now we're seeing an indirect, chaos, because we have certain states that are being run by 2, 3, 4 cities that are blue, and the rest
electing their buddies.
Like New York State. New York State has been a slave to New York City for decades.
Yes.
I spent 5.5 years in New York State, and I'm going to tell you this. I can maybe count on one hand the amount of liberals I met in the rural counties in New York State.
Michigan is the same way.
Yeah.
So is Illinois. So is Indiana.
Yes, I know.
All of those places. Illinois is run by Chicago.
Yeah, and that needs to come to an end, because this is going to destroy our nation.
Yep.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And one thing I can add to my state,
Yeah.
because of 3 to 5 counties,
right.
because Nebraska and Maine are the only 2 states in the country that split their electoral votes. If you didn't know that, you know that now. Because of 3 to 5 because of 3 to 5 counties that are blue, you can probably guess which ones they are.
Yep.
The 3 big cities and the colleges. Democrats will always get 1 electoral vote from Nebraska. It is basically almost always been that way as far as I can remember. And the governor says, you know what, we need to change that, winner take all. But of course, there we got the same screaming, crying liberals that say, we need trans women, we need trans women. If you saw that video.
I saw that one. That is just insane.
Yeah, that crazy.
That I clearly
Yeah, that crazy Kuantaha was from my state. She does not represent me. But yeah, so hopefully that shit gets changed and fixed, because I'm kind of sick and tired of that shit. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, my buddy just called me, so he knows I'm doing a show and he fucks with me and calls me. All right.
Yeah, that happens.
So let's move on to the next one.
Okay, moving on to the next one.
Listen,
there's so much to go through here.
Yeah.
And if we can't get to all of these sources are on the Redonkulas website, gentlemen.
These sources we're going through now are the second batch of sources, because I literally sent a first batch to him last week.
And before last.
Yeah. And I'm like,
yeah,
week before last. And I'm like, I couldn't remember. I'm like, how many I sent him? And there's so much shit available on the internet.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look. You can find it. You might have to go 3 or 4 pages down because Google is stacking the deck. But now that we know the game, you can find it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you have it. So, am I sharing this tab? I am. The Election Deniers Playbook for 2024. Here's the thing. The Brennan Center for Justice isn't. It's a Bolshevik center. Okay? It's the Brennan Center is Justice William Brennan, and the entire thing from top to bottom is just pure Bolshevism. The attempts to undermine safe and secure elections are evolving. Anytime you hear safe and secure from a government office, you know they're up to no good. You know they're up to fraud. You know they're out to screw you.
We're from the government. We're here to help.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Election denial poses an ongoing threat to U.S. democracy. Once again, we're a federal republic, or at least we're supposed to be. Despite its widespread rejection in the 2022 midterms, efforts to undermine electoral systems have proliferated and expanded beyond Donald Trump's charge that the 2020 election was stolen. This analysis examines the role that election denial played during the midterms and makes an early assessment of how it will evolve in 2024. It does so by outlining 14 tactics deployed by election deniers through the 2022 election cycle. I want you to listen to these because what they're doing here is telegraphing.
Well, first of all, they're accusing one side of everything they're going to do.
That's correct.
You're calling it telegraphing.
Yes.
It's more like gaslighting.
Tomato, tomato. It's gaslighting the telegraph.
All right.
Tomato.
Let's do it.
Okay. 1, election deniers bids for office. People who are deniers of the election are going to run for office. You're goddamn right. A whole bunch of people who think the election is BS are running for office.
They should.
Just about everywhere I know. And they're saying this like it's some sort of a crime, by the way. Election deniers' refusal to concede.
Listen,
that hasn't happened.
Well, no, hang on. First of all, I'm 100% behind the president and his refusal to concede.
Yeah.
Because the evidence that I was exposed to,
yes,
it was so blatant. I try to be
that I'm about to expose you to.
I try to be calm. I try to be logical. But what happened in 2020 and even in 2022 in this state, in my opinion, I think there was some funny business.
Yeah. Counties' refusal to certify election results. I've been talking to you about that. I pulled my own records from my own county, and I told you what I found. 4, efforts to discredit voting machines.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they should be discredited.
5, efforts to tamper with sensitive voting data and equipment.
Well, let's see. If you got rid of the goddamn computer and you went with paper ballots, you wouldn't have that problem.
My data was tampered with. I have the actual proof.
Yeah.
massive public records requests. It's election interference, ladies and gentlemen. If you get involved and try to look at your own voting data, this is probably directly due to the stuff that I'm involved with here in the state of Michigan. Massive public records requests. 7, efforts to recruit election deniers to serve as poll watchers and workers. I'm a poll watcher, motherfucker. Come at me. I have been a poll watcher since 2016. I will go to the elections and I will stay there until 1 a.m. if that's what I have to do.
A small price to pay.
And it's part of your job, by the way. I see people laughing about getting out of jury duty and stuff like that. Oh, ha, 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 I got out of jury duty. Okay, guess what? If you ever needed jury, all of the people who probably would do a decent job for you went, ha, 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 I got out of jury duty. So guess what? Shanique was on your jury. Ha, ha, ha.
I personally,
poll watching.
I want to see thousands of individuals at these centers where they count these ballots.
Yes.
So they can't do this horse shit like they did in 2020.
They are terrified of you showing up and doing this. I know. I've been a poll watcher and I've had them standing there going, well, I'll just stand there and do the army thing.
Yeah,
And they know not to go. They know not to come near you.
Yeah.
We really don't want that guy here, but he's scary looking. I don't want to go near him.
This is the typical airborne ranger standing there.
Yeah. And you just know that if you go over and bother him, you're about to have a shit ass day.
Yeah. I did that 33 years. That was my default stance.
Yeah. Yeah. And my wife has asked me why the arms are up high. It's because of our gear. You've got mags and pouches and everything else all down here.
You just get used to it.
You just automatically do.
You stick it under your armpits to hold them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
It's because of your gear. 8, threats against election officials and workers. I seem to recall the Democrats doing all of the threatening and all of the violence and everything.
I am not about threatening people.
We didn't do it. That's my point.
I'm just saying
that's their thing.
I do not think people should be threatening individuals that are working in these things. I think that's a bridge too far at this particular time.
9, voter intimidation. Well, gosh, what were Black Panthers doing out in front of voting centers in Ohio during the elections?
Yeah.
With guns.
Oh, yeah. And guess what? If you get, 150 patriots at the voting centers,
right?
Exactly. A lot of that would go away.
10, mass challenges. How dare you, the people, challenge an election? How dare you?
It's right.
Okay, they're speaking of this like it's all criminal.
This is all criminal, bad stuff.
They will make this criminal as soon as they can. The state of Michigan is already trying to do this by criminalizing challenging an election more than 24 hours after it has already happened. 11, election police forces. I don't know what that is, but I imagine they're talking about 150 of us showing up loaded for bear and making sure that everything is neat and orderly and in its proper place.
Yeah. Now listen, I'm not actually requesting that to happen, but I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Because listen, the left runs everything right now because the right has ignored it for decades. It's about fucking time we wake up, the patriots of this country, because it is being stolen from us.
Yes.
One paper cut at a fucking time.
Yeah.
You better fucking open your goddamn eyes. Shit.
Voter intimidation, mass challenges, election police forces. Number 12, anti-voter lawsuits. What's an anti-voter lawsuit? I don't know what that is. How do you
Well, I'm telling you right now.
Lawsuit up that's against the voters.
Well, that would be like making you have to have a valid ID to vote.
But, there you go.
Not allowing illegal aliens to vote?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you should have all right. First of all,
what's that mean?
All right. In my opinion, the whole voting thing that we have now is broken. In my opinion, if you want to vote and have a say in this country, you have to be a net contributor to the country, meaning you are a positive contributor to the treasury, to everything else. If you're on Social Security, disability, and you never paid into it, guess what? You're a net negative. If you're on welfare, WIC, Section 8, you're a net negative.
Yeah, you shouldn't be available.
You shouldn't be allowed to vote.
You shouldn't be able to vote because all you do is vote yourself more Gibbs.
Yes.
Yep.
So again, the line of work that I'm in, I deal with a lot of inner city folk. And in order to even start their case, they must produce 2 forms of ID. One of them always is a Michigan State ID of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
I have never once had one of them have difficulty produce ID. The biggest argument that the left likes to throw, that the Bolsheviks like to throw out there, is it's disenfranchising the poor urban folk when you say they have to produce ID to vote.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you that every single one of them that I deal with on a daily basis, and we've got, I think just my attorney has several hundred cases.
Well, a lot of them smoke menthols, and you got to have an ID to buy those.
And that's so weird. It's so weird that you have to have an ID to buy menthols.
To buy cigarettes. I'm just fucking around.
I know, but
yeah, you got to be, 18 to buy cigarettes, 21 to buy alcohol.
I was buying cigarettes when I was like 11.
Yeah, I know. I used to buy cigarettes for my mother when I was like 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, my grandma would send me down to this corner to buy cigarettes for.
Yeah, but now, if you want beer, you better be 21 and be able to prove it. You want to buy a gun, you better be 21, have ID to prove it. Yeah. There's all kinds of shit. You need to have an ID.
You get in an accident, you want an attorney, you have ID to prove it.
That's right. And now all of a sudden they're pulling out it is discriminatory to ask for valid identification of all. Shut up.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Number 13, anti-voter legislation. Let's make laws where people who are illegal can't vote.
Yeah, we should have. Listen,
have those laws, though.
We do.
We do have those laws. They're just not enforced. And of course, number 14, the catch-all, disinformation.
All right. Now, first of all, I can guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of people complaining about us putting out disinformation when we're reading the articles
from their
own rag news sites.
Yes, this is from a leftist news site.
Yes.
Clear. This is from a leftist news site. We are coming close enough to the window that I'm going to pull the map out.
Yes.
Because
this is going to take time.
A moment on this map. So let me go over here, bypass these 65,000 tabs. Looks like 6 gorillas.
This one is, you're going to blow your fucking mind.
So I'm going to preface this real quick.
Tell them how it was created and who created it.
Okay. 2016, the elections, we all knew something was weird.
2020, you mean?
No, I don't.
Oh, 2016?
2016.
Okay.
This is when this group started talking.
Okay.
I knew some of these people already.
And what's the name of the group?
It didn't have a name yet.
Okay.
The cell that created this eventually would come into the group that we'll mention in a minute.
All right.
The 2016 elections, we saw all the weird stuff. And that's when we started going and looking into it together. And then 2019 rolls along, 2020, Trump's the candidate, and this group forms called Praetorian, and a Green Beret was behind it. I got pulled in as his chief of operational intelligence.
And then you pulled me in.
We pulled Pop in to work on the security deal. He was one of our ground guys. And I would run teams at these election events to provide security for everybody. I was Overwatch communications and reporting. And we started really analyzing a lot of what was going on. This is one tiny portion of what we discovered. I have enough material that we could easily do 7 or 8 shows.
Yeah.
Just on this material. But your electronic voting machines are connected to things. They want to say that they're not. They're connected to routers and switches, which means that they're connected to other computers, which means they're connected to data servers, which means they're connected to data centers.
And they're on the internet. So anyone,
yes,
technically anyone could fuck with
anybody with any skill could get into these. Now we have a lot of evidence that this happened, and some of that ended up in, what was it, Italy, Romania, Germany, and 1 or 2 other places.
Yeah, there was U.S. forces stacking up on a server farm in Germany. I don't know what happened.
We were never able to verify any of that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
We were never able to verify any of that. Anyway, where's your data going? Well, it's going to the Electronic Registration Information Center,
ERIC,
which keeps track of everybody's voter everything, all of your stuff.
Are you sharing this tab?
Yeah,
all right, there it is.
Showing this tab.
Good.
Goes into ERIC. Okay, What's Eric? That sounds friendly. Gosh, Eric seems like a nice guy.
Until he becomes AI.
Then all of your voting data gets sucked into Eric. You never volunteered for this. You never authorized this. You never signed anything that says they can take your data. But there it is in Eric. Well, what's the big deal? All right, let's have a little poke at that. Let's start with states using Eric in June of 2019. Well, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and the District of Columbia, which is not actually a state.
No.
Now,
is that virtually every state in the union?
It is quite a few. We'll count them on the way back down here because Texas, New Jersey, and you can see the gaps here. Massachusetts added themselves in 2022. Alabama actually withdrew. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, Nevada. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 gives us what? That's called
2/3
plurality.
Yes.
That's the majority of the states are using this ERIC system, which means your information
You have no idea where that shit's going.
Is being pulled into this system and being used by each of your states. But what's going on here, though? Let's have a look. Operational costs. What do you mean operational costs? One-time joining fee per state, $25,000. Gosh, somebody's getting a nice chunk of money.
Yep.
2021 financial report. Annual membership fees per year between 26,000 and 116,000 times 33.
So now you're paying to get your anus stretched.
Well, the states don't have money. Where do they get money from?
They get it from the taxpayers.
Oh, so the taxpayers are giving it to this ERIC organization
that we never voted for, we know nothing of.
That we don't know anything about.
And I can almost guarantee you this was all put in place by a bureaucrat who was appointed, not elected.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
It's on the map.
Yeah.
Reports generated by ERIC. What's ERIC doing? Let's have a look into what ERIC is doing. Voters who have moved within their state, voters who have moved out of the state, voters who have died. Duplicate registrations in the same state. Well, gosh, I was told that never happens.
Yes.
Individuals who are appointed or who are potentially eligible to vote, but have not yet registered. Voters who appear to have voted twice within the state. I was told that never happens as well.
Yes.
Voters who voted in more than one state. You're not supposed to do that. Voters who voted on behalf of a deceased voter. Also illegal that I know of.
And what can you do with all of that information?
Well,
you can build a second database, a ghost database that you can manipulate stuff with because it's all electronic now.
Remember what we said about how many people vote?
Yes. 37% is a good year.
Good turnout.
Yes.
50% is raw. We're trying.
The minute you go over that, it's questionable.
Well, where would you get all of the data to make all of those additional votes? Could it possibly come out of a system like ERIC here?
Yes, it could.
Couldn't it? Contact information. November 2, 2019 address, Electronic Registration Information Center, 1155 F Street, Northwest Suite 1050, Washington, D.C. There's their phone. There's their email address. You can ask them. They're an organization that handles all of your public data.
Mm-hmm.
After all, you should look at this data here and give them a call or email them and ask them, why is my voter data going into your private organization called ERIC?
Mm-hmm.
Now, February 2023 address was on Connecticut Avenue. Now,
did you or did you not send people there to find out that there's no office there?
I may or may not know of individuals who happen to live in the area that may have passed by that area and noted that the office was, in fact, an abandoned suite.
Correct. That doesn't sound fishy at all.
There's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they all then? Where are they all? Okay, here's Eric. Eric looks nice. Eric looks friendly. Let's take a look at how big Eric really is.
Yeah. Let's back it out. And and it's not even there. It is. That's the whole goddamn thing right there.
Are you getting the idea?
Yeah.
Here's Eric over here, this little guy over here on the right.
All right. So you got the Eric, then you have the states stacked on top of it that are pouring their data into Eric.
Then there's the green operational costs.
Yes.
Then the yellow reports that are being generated, and then their addresses right below that. Let's have a look at some of the other stuff. Now, this Eric thing, it's got to have a board. Somebody's got to be in charge of all of this.
Yes. Let's get to that.
Let's get to that. I'm going the wrong way.
Just do the 23-24 board. We don't have to do the 2021.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Here's Eric over here. Now we go to the 23-24 Privacy and Technology Advisory Board.
You might want to make it a little bigger.
I will make it a little bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Jimmy, you're on fire, bro.
And I said, I've already had 6 shots of whiskey, baby. It ain't getting bigger than that.
What you see is what you get.
All right. So, Director, Michigan Bureau of Electronics, Jonathan Brader. He's the chairman.
Michigan Bureau of Elections. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the guy that is facing all of the lawsuits, coincidentally.
Wow.
Mandy Grangine, immediate past chair, deputy assistant secretary of state and director of elections, Ohio. Missouri, elections division. Minnesota, director of elections. Iowa, director of elections. Pennsylvania, deputy secretary of elections and commissions. Georgia, director of elections, vacant. Alabama currently because they pulled out. Director, Alaska division of elections. Are you getting the idea what's going on here?
Yes.
There's a position called director of elections or something similar in every state.
Yes.
That I don't recall ever voting for.
Or they were obviously appointed.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We don't fucking need this. Every state has the ability to count their own goddamn ballots without having all of this crazy wizardry that's obviously, in my opinion, corrupted 3 ways to fucking Sunday. The whole thing is being run by a bunch of commie-crats, in my opinion, that have no business with your data and making decisions who will and who will not run this fucking country. It's up to the goddamn people. I am on a rant. You got me there. You got me. I love how you just sit back there and you're like, I did it. I pushed Pop over the edge. There he went. He pulled out the knife hand. Fucking started yelling. Oh, there you go. Son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah. Of course, the dwarf lets me rant in front of the camera. Yeah.
I hate you. No, I love you, brother.
Oh, God. I love that. So, by the way, Eric collects all of your data. Okay. Member supplied voter registration data, the members being the individual states.
Hey, check this out, though.
Wait a minute.
Right below there. Look at that thing.
I'm going to blew this up a little bit.
Why is Zuckerberg?
You're getting ahead of the game.
I'm sorry. I saw that name.
You're getting ahead of the game. Data collected. We're here on toward the center, the right hand, this little red box here. Member supplied voter registration data. That's the member states supplying all of your voter registration data that you submit. Did you authorize that? Did you say, yes, you can put my data in this Eric database?
No.
We don't even know where that's going yet. We're about to find out, though. Member supplied motor vehicle registration data.
Wow.
What are they doing with your motor vehicle registration data?
Yeah. Like, why the fuck is this private organization collecting your
I don't
driver's license.
recall authorizing this.
No, I did. Yeah,
I don't recall authorizing this at all. Now, member states must send this data every 60 days. So they didn't just give them
once
your data. They are giving Eric your data
and updating it every 60 days. Can anyone say bullshit? That's exactly what this is. Yeah, throw the flag on that. That's exactly what that is. That is some serious fucking bullshit right there.
So, data collected, registration data, motor vehicle registration data, must send every 60 days. Generates eligible but unregistered lists.
Why would you generate lists
of eligible but unregistered voters?
Yes. Why would you do that? Maybe because you want to, I don't know, have 110% turnout. Because that's how you get 110% turnout.
Do you want Adolf? Because this is how you get Adolf.
This is going to lead to Adolf.
So this info is shared with CEI.
I mean, do you have any idea what's going to happen if we have 15
if
to 20?
Everybody realizes this?
No, hang on. Say this goes dynamic and we have 15 to 20 million fucking casualties. Everyone on this list is going to wind up on a wanted poster.
Yes.
And the person printing the wanted posters is going to be equivalent to Adolf.
Yeah.
And it is going to be ugly. I do not want that to happen. Yeah. We need to shut this shit down.
Here's the real problem. If we don't do this from the township, county to state level, the way that I've been describing, where you actually get off your ass and you get involved in this stuff and you participate in this and send POP request, POP can send it to me. I can get you connected with my state, the people that are doing this here in my state, and we can export the model, because what happens next is ugly and nobody ever talks about this part. If this goes full kinetic and these people, like Pop said, end up on a wanted poster, what's going to happen is you're going to have people that take this too far.
Yes.
And those people will not just go after Jonathan Brader or Mandy Green Jean.
They'll go after everyone.
They'll go after everybody in their family.
Yes.
And guess what? That's not war at that point. Now you're just a fucking monster.
Yeah. And listen, I am not for that at all.
Yeah.
All right. And I can, half these people probably are oblivious to the fact that this is an overarching fucking plot to take over this country.
Most people don't have any clue.
Yeah, most of them are like, oh, I got put on a board. I got to go twice a month.
Okay, this data goes, I just push this button.
Yeah, nobody asks questions. Why am I sending this data? Have these people authorized for me to sell their data to this private group?
Bureaucrats don't think like that.
No, they don't.
They think, okay, I have a piece of paper. It goes over here.
Yeah, and I want to get paid at the end of the month, so I have to
keep my position.
Yeah.
So, like Pop said, with the wanted poster thing, what happens next is the real ugliness ensues. Going through the township to county to state model is the way to prevent that, because then in an organized and orderly manner, those people found responsible and tried in a reasonable court of law by a jury of their peers,
yes,
can be arrested and dealt with in a proper manner.
Correct.
Rather than 500 angry people with machetes breaking into some poor family's house.
Yeah,
okay?
I do not want to see mob justice.
No mob justice.
I've seen that in Iraq. It is fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's one of the most awful things you can possibly see.
No. There's a couple times, like they're literally, because I was NCOIC of security for all of Abu Ghraib, and I was responsible, I think, out to a mile and a half away from the walls.
Yeah,
and I'd always get called into these meetings because people were showing up on the street with all of their joints drilled out, fingers broken, and then they're executed. And they're like, hey, this is terrible. What can you do about it? And I'm like, I'm telling you what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to do fuck all, because I'm not risking American lives to deal with a grudge, because guess what?
That's how they do things there.
That happens in the beginning of every civil war.
Yes.
In the beginning of every civil war, the first 3 to 6 months is just a huge grudge match of people getting even with other people. It happened in the Revolutionary War. It happened during our Civil War. And you could go back through history and read about it. I mean, it happens like the Spanish Civil War.
There are whole books where farmers who had neighbor farmers that they were jealous of or didn't like used the Union Confederate excuse to go over and slaughter that family.
Correct.
And take their land.
Yeah. And I don't want to see that at all.
I don't want to see any of that.
Yeah.
I don't, it's mob justice is off. I've seen a couple of examples of it. As we were talking about it, my brain is ticking through I only saw a handful of these things, and I'm basically like tearing up because I remember it was fucking awful and I felt horrible for these people.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do.
And here's the thing. They patiently did this over the past 3 decades.
Correct.
Now we know it's happening. We can take it back. We just have to we have to be willing to show up, willing to fill out the paperwork, run for office, ask questions, get in the fucking way, cause fucking mayhem, because I can guarantee you, if 10,000 people show up at each county in every fucking state and starts filing lawsuits about this shit, it will go away. They can't afford it.
Here's where it gets interesting. This generates eligible but unregistered EBU lists.
I'm starting to get a headache, man. This is really...
We're close to the end here, man. We're close to the end. Take a breath.
All right.
Info shared with CEIR. What is CEIR? Why, that is the Center for Election Innovation and Research.
And I've never heard of this before.
I've never heard of this before either. It spearheaded the ERIC program until 2016, and it continued running ERIC meetings through 2020. It is probably continuing to run it now today, but under a different name or through an umbrella or shell corporation of some kind. Now, David Becker is the director of the elections program. Who is he? Oh, he runs the Pew Charitable Trusts out of Colorado, Maryland, Nevada, Utah, Virginia.
There's the money.
Founded in 2012. But let's look up at CEIR real fast.
Okay.
The Department of Justice Civil Rights Attorney has a voting section with them. CBS election law expert, the media branch, CBS.
Yeah. Why are they there?
I don't know.
First, I also want to ask a question. Why is there a yellow dot on some of these boxes?
Because in the real map that we created, each of those yellow dots leads to a string of sources.
Okay.
All of this is pulled from what we call OSINT, open source intelligence.
Well, first of all,
everything.
The people who built this list used to do this for alphabet agencies. So this is the equivalent of
this is an NSA level dig.
Yeah, this is NSA level dig right here.
And a lot of these, we found your corporate records. We found all of your stuff. I know where to find all of that shit open source.
Yeah.
And I know how to backtrace it. And I know how to trace it to the Caymans. And I know how to trace it to the Seychelles. And I know how to trace it to Switzerland and all of those other places, because that's what I did for a fucking living. I hunted North Koreans.
See, his weapon is in his head. Mine was in my hands.
Yeah. So all you shitbirds out there that think you're funny, there's people like me out there who knew how to do this legally. This is all open source material. I can print page after page of this off of publicly available sites and connect the dots because I know what I'm doing.
In other words, do not piss off the battle dwarf.
Well, first of all, I mean,
I'm a benevolent battle.
How many millions of dollars did the government dump in?
$2.1 million
just
per 98.
Just to get you ready to do the job.
That was just to get ready to do the job. And then your first assignment is always a shit battalion.
Yes.
Where you end up supporting LURS with radios for a year.
That's fine. But yeah, I like LURS actually. But anyway, the amount of time you spent doing this for real.
Yeah. 6.5 years.
Yeah. Listen, that's a lot of time and money invested into your ability. And so I know some of the guys that helped you with this or put this together probably have a couple decades and retired.
There's one guy who's retired and he drives combines in one of the flyover states.
Good for him.
And nobody knows he's there. He just drives combines all day. And he will absolutely fuck your world if you get anywhere near him. That's
and you piss him off.
Remember when we broke all the Anafa nets?
Yeah.
During the actual elections during January 6th. We were in the Anafa nets and listening to all of their transmissions and everything. That's Mr. Combine Driver.
Yeah, I myself didn't have access to those comms. I just had the standard radio.
Sorry.
It's fine. Because I was that guy in the outer cordon.
You were third ring.
I was dealing
Yeah.
directly with Antifa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were on top of them. We had all their comms.
Yeah.
We had all of their comms.
You should have seen it when I walked up on those 5 guys. I'm like, you guys can leave now. They're like, what are you talking about? We're here for the rally. I go, you listen, you're Antifa. You know you're Antifa, and I know you're Antifa. And
They probably thought you were Fed.
yeah, and I'm like, if I key this radio, there's going to be 18 guys here, probably with axe handles and other weapons. It's not going to go well for you. So just leave. Well, because they were jumping people when they were leave the rally.
Yes.
They were jumping
I
people.
know we had to issue several warnings. We had
Yeah.
to issue a whole bunch of warnos on that. They were attacking people at night, especially.
Yeah, and I would have none of that.
Yeah. I've got a whole stack of warnos for that.
Listen, I don't have a problem if you want to be on the other side and hold up signs and yell at me and insult
Protest.
me. That's fine.
The minute you take a swing, you're fair game.
That's right.
Period.
I don't have a problem. You want to talk bad about my mama? We'll be north of the Omama line probably, so it's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
You can swear, call me whatever you want. I don't care.
So here's the thing. This CEIR, where does this go? CBS election.
And they're getting 70 million to CEIR from Chan Zuckerberg Initiative.
Chan Zuckerberg, who is Mark Zuckerberg's Chinese wife, and Facebook, and there's Mark Zuckerberg himself.
Yes.
But
And
People for the American Way is a known Bolshevik organization. They're part of they are White Ring Watch, and it's founded through the Tides Foundation, who is George Soros.
Mhm.
This is comic book villainy.
Yeah.
Running your election. All of your election data and your voter registration data that you never said they could take is being fed to these organizations. Here's all of the diagrams. You see all those yellow dots?
Mhm.
It's all confirmed.
And I can almost guarantee you that all of our election data is already in the hands of communist China. I know they have it.
Pull that map up, but we don't have time.
We don't have time for that. That'll have to be another one. I have another map.
Of course he does.
Actually, I have 5 other maps. We'll have to do shows on.
I have 5 other maps.
Yep.
This is the one that matters for this show here. All of your election data and your vehicle registration data is fed to the Center for Election Innovation and Research, which is the Tides Foundation. And what they're giving them is eligible but unregistered voter lists.
And the only reason you need that is to make sure 100 and some odd % show up to election.
I can provide this map, and you might want to write your Secretary of State and file a lawsuit.
Yep.
Yes.
And if we
this one, I don't think you'll have to email this to me there, Steve, so I can get that updated to the sources for this one.
Yes.
Don't worry.
We'll get it to you. Yeah.
Anyway,
this needs to be in every U.S. citizen's email box with a 3-paragraph letter explaining exactly what's going on.
the important part is your data collected from your registration, your voter registration, and your motor vehicle registration data is being used to produce eligible but unregistered voter lists, which are being provided directly to the Tides Foundation through the Center for Election Innovation and Research. And it is all being funded by the Pew Charitable Trust and the Tides Foundation.
And I don't ever remember voting for any of this shit. I don't remember any of our representatives talking about setting this up. This is the smoke and mirrors behind the dictator in chief and all of the commie Democrat sons of bitches, in my opinion, who've been elected in the past 6 years. Because if they were able to get away with it in 2020, which they did, do you really think they're going to stop? Do you think they're going to stop?
They're not going to stop.
No.
It's already here, 23, 24 board members. Look, I haven't even gone over this whole map yet. And like I said, I have 5 other maps, okay?
I got you.
Look, township, county, state. We're doing it here in the state of Michigan. There are efforts in other states as well. I don't have enough details there. I'm not going to give you what they're doing because I can't recite it off the top of my head like I can here in Michigan. Get your voter registration data. I bet you
it's been tampered
I would
with.
say 70% of you, it's been tampered with.
It's been tampered with harder than a trans asshole.
Ow.
Allegedly.
Inverted windsock vagina?
Yes. Inverted windsock vagina.
The old wizard sleeve.
Yeah, the wizard.
Yeah. My first comedy routine, I talked about that. It was for my ex.
This is serious. This is how
serious
you can
shit.
affect these elections. Like Pop and I said multiple times, we want to avoid the mob violence, because if this gets out in a way that it starts kinetic shit, the mob violence will happen. And I have no interest in that happening on American soil.
I mean, I can almost guarantee you, everyone on the corporate boards for the media is going to wind up on the list.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of teachers from kindergarten all the way up to college. They're going to wind up on lists. And most of them are just stupid.
Yes, that is correct.
They're just stupid.
Yes. And their families don't deserve to be punished in their stead or alongside them.
No, I don't want to see any. Listen, I'm an asshole, but I'm not that much of an evil asshole.
I am a courtroom and jury asshole.
Yes.
I will asshole you all day long in a courtroom with a jury. I have no interest in the other stuff.
No,
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Phrasing, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You're right, Jimmy. That was close, wasn't it?
that was pretty close to phrasing, man.
Man.
Rush right up against that. I think we should probably move on to the super chat.
Let's do the super chats. Yeah.
Yep, I think we're getting there. Let's see here. We got 595 over on YouTube and 323 likes.
What are you doing?
Just a little over half, but I don't know if that's acceptable or not. We may or may not have to play a Pelosi or Hillary.
173 likes on Rumble.
Mash
what are you doing?
Like button
and subscribe, you sons of bitches.
Information.
Yeah.
Hit the like button and subscribe.
Might have to do a refresh on that one, because I know there's more than that. We got 854 and climbing over on Rumble there. I know we got more likes over there.
172.
Okay.
I don't know. Gonna have to
one down vote. Oh, do we have a troll? You're so cute. Keep going. Carry on.
All right, we'll start over here on YouTube. Here we got Body Satava with $4.99. Says number 411 here, Pop and Dwarf. Former Navy guy here and current DOD. The skiff has been very busy here on the East Coast on base.
Well, I'm sure it has.
All you do.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah. And now listen, if you have any information that's open source, you can share it with us, but I will never ask anyone.
OSINT only.
I will never ask anyone to violate OBSEC on my behalf. I will never do that.
Yep.
I'm smart enough. You point me to an open source, I can figure it out on my own.
Keep your caveats in your pants, petty officer.
Correct.
You know what I'm talking about.
There you go. And we got Sean St. George with 2 $4.99 chats here in a row. First one here sounds like Battle Dwarf and his group instigated an old war parable. Don't interrupt the enemy when they're in the process of making a mistake.
They made the mistake.
Yes, they did.
This is the proof here.
Yep. And Sean's second chat here. If we, the people, won't hold the DC Swamp Mafia accountable, who will?
Yep.
Every time the Swamp Mafia investigates itself, it's magically found not at fault.
Well, what'll happen is when they get so corrupt that you can't buy gas, pay for your house, buy food for your family, you're going to get an historic response, and it's usually dynamic and very bad.
One of the variables that I have noted is this has happened over and over again in various cultures, but never with a population like the American public. We are a real serious unknown because we are so varied and have such a history of getting a case of the ass.
Yeah. I can't tell me
so this is an enemy.
No!
This is an enemy that no Bolshevik has ever faced before.
No.
Nobody knows what will happen when the American public gets this pissed off.
When they start moving, when a majority of the American population starts moving, you're not going to stop them.
That's what makes the whole township, county, state thing important.
Yes.
Carry on.
Carry on. Sorry about that.
All righty. Got a LS420 Stoner with $5. Says, Battle Dwarf, please make a history video on World War I and the Spanish-American War.
Oh, World War I can do. Spanish War I need to study. I have not studied that one. I've been reading the Greeks of late.
A little bit before the Spanish-American, but he also says, teach us, senpai.
Very nice. Hi.
Yeah. See, we got Bailey Chazenstein with $20. There you go. Hey, Pop, I need your opinion on, quote, enhanced interrogation techniques.
Are we talking about tactical baptism?
If hypothetically we need to get intel from an awful AWFL, would an AI in the voice of Gottfried reading 50 Shades of Grey get the info we need?
That is a straight up war crime. I can tell you with absolute certainty that 9 Inch Nails and Decrying Baby was used at Gitmo.
They also used it in Panama.
Oh, did they use it at Panama too?
Yeah.
9 Inch
Wasn't
Nails before that?
wasn't Baby Shark used in Guantanamo?
Yes, Baby Shark was also used.
They used this Crying Baby and like one or two like rock songs in Panama.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they were.
Yeah.
I can just imagine Gottfried. There she was, slaying down, taking the boat across her ass.
Until you're the guy in the brightly lit 6x6 cell, naked on cold concrete with that blaring in your ears for 48 hours.
That'd
That is
be
not
bad.
funny anymore.
It's not funny.
Down the rabbit hole we go.
Sorry. Carry on.
Sorry, that was a terrible Gottfried impression. Kind of hurt my
You did
throat.
pretty good. You did.
It's all right.
You're doing okay, bro.
It's all right.
Sean St. George coming back 2 in a row. First one, if observers are barred from entry and the windows are blocked / tinted at polling places, that just screams legitimacy. Right?
Feel you.
Yeah. It's more like legitimacy.
Legismy.
Walking the line.
Is that like
walking right along the line?
Legismy? Is that like a French Broadway prostitute?
Now we're really close to the line.
We're close to the line. I
Repeat
can't answer.
to yourself what you just said and think about that for a moment.
You know what? Just because I got close to the line.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
That was inevitable.
I'll find myself. I'll even take 2 points because 1, it was surrender monkey speak, and 2, I was talking about jizz.
All right.
Anyways, we got Pete with $9.99. Says it just came out in Gateway Pundit. Biden slipped up and said why all the illegals were here because they're all new Democrat voters.
Yep. Just like he slipped up and said that they have the most organized and sophisticated voter fraud system ever.
Yes.
And he also slipped up and said, if you vote for me, we're going to raise your taxes, not lower them. But that could have been a senior moment. You know,
that's any politician, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know of any politician that's lowered taxes lately.
Yeah. And looks like last one here on YouTube. We got HTRSP Super with $10. Great show tonight, guys. And sadly, I think there will be shenanigans on the election.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm afraid there might be.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Let's see here. We'll jump over here over on Rumble. We got 850 guys over there watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let's see. First one here, MGTOW Mando. Hey, there's my good buddy. Says, excuse me. No violence, Battle Dwarf. According to these idiots, silence is violence. Words are violence. Actions are violence. And inaction is violence. Where is our win condition?
They're telling you that they intend to use violence by saying those things.
Yes.
Yeah. It's totally not like they burned down 12 police cars because of, stupid shit halfway across the world. That's totally going to change things. Yeah. That's a different rapper hole. Let's see. Next one. Dung is fun with $1. Pop, have you heard of a card game called Divorce Dads?
I have not.
Interesting.
Might have to look that up and maybe play a game or two of those one of these nights. All right. Here. Looks like someone was being rather naughty in the Rumble chat, and they got putting time out there.
Ruh-roh.
That's all right. We got good guys on the chat there. Let's see, next one, Alley Card 1776. Come on, Pop. You remember Vegas?
Come on, man. Come on.
I was there, Pop.
I don't know.
I was there. I was actually behind Hillary in the ticket line. Come on, Pop, you remember.
I found the real video and it's very creepy.
I bet it is. Bet it is.
Carry on.
Yeah, we got Mando coming back. Says, we need some levity. You guys' choice: Straw Barrage or Shaggy's choice of a short.
Oh God.
Are we gonna have a Dick Straw fight?
Hey, bastard! Hey,
Oh, in the face.
you almost got me. All right, keep going.
We had a Dick Straw Barrage. So there you go.
Hillary asked for one night. I immediately started firing on him.
He'd rather throw the Dick Straws than look at Hillary, and I don't blame him. Let's see. Next one we got Single for Life. Pop. How long do I have to take the enzymes to remove the spike protein?
I'm not a doctor, but usually negative effects from a lot of those vaccines is done after about 5 years. So chances are you're probably gonna have to take all of those supplements for a minimum of 5 years after you have all of your vaccines and what have you. And listen, you should also go see your regular doctor and get blood tests and physicals and, get all of the workups to see if anything's going on in your inner workings.
Right. Let's just say those that did not take it don't regret it. Yeah, let's see here. We got MX Stilgar, aka Jerry Conway, the man with the golden voice. Good to see you there, good sir. Says, Shalom, men. Look at all the Muslims in power in England and Scotland in parliament as mayors and university leaders and media control.
Yep.
Yeah. And he does provide a Wikipedia. Yep. And he does provide a Wikipedia link. I think we can save that one for another episode because that is quite a long list. And I have seen the videos myself. Again, if you guys are hesitant, the best way to get up to the date news is on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, that's the best way I can find it. Let's see, MGTOW Mando coming back again. You should call the future stream. A future stream Erection 2024, the fornicating sequel.
I don't know, man. I really don't know what they think is going to happen. You got over half the country knowing this is just a bunch of bullshit, and they're gonna fuck around, and people are gonna find out. I mean that it's unfortunate, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm getting the fuck out of the way. I want nothing to do with it.
Yep.
I'm too old for that shit, and I can't participate.
Yeah, it's bad. That's why I'm glad I live in BFE, Nebraska. We don't have to put up with that shit. Alucard 1776 coming back again. He says, sack of potatoes equals zombie food. I don't think zombies would, well, then again, I'm not a zombie or an expert on zombie, but I don't think a zombie would take a bite of someone that has recently shit himself.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm not a zombie expert, so
yeah, I got nothing.
Dung is fun coming in here. Check out the channel called Flash Grits. You're gonna laugh your balls off. It's an animation that's gonna make you laugh.
All right. It's just like the old Joe cartoon from the original internet back in 1998.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Maybe. Joe cartoon was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I remember a few of those.
Yeah.
Very disturbing, but very funny.
Very disturbing.
Let's see, Mando coming back in. Battle Dwarf, just verifying poll watcher or poll watcher. Are we talking about like voter polls or are we talking about like stripper polls? He
I
just
was
he just
never the
he's just
guy to throw my money at a woman that I knew that I had no chance at all with.
That's right.
I only threw money at women that I thought maybe I would have a chance with, and that
Uh,
got one divorce.
it's probably better to throw
cost me
money at
$40,000.
Yeah.
it's better to throw money at poll watchers so that they can influence, quote unquote, the vote instead of a poll watcher
So that would be
may or may not give you a bumpy on your dick.
actually on a trust level. You're better off with the brass poll watching because you know what you're getting there, which is just a show. Whereas the election poll watching, you're going to get fucked.
That's where the
But
invisible hand goes up your ass.
reach around and exactly.
That's good.
See, Deus Ex Machina Prime with $10. He's saying Trump.
Yep.
Still on the fence, but it's I'm leaning towards that way.
I am a distinct disliker of cult of personality. Anytime you start worshiping a man in a suit, shit's going to go wrong. Period.
Correct.
Yep.
But we have limited choices.
Yeah.
Yep. It's basically a douche or a shit sandwich. And honestly, I think I'll choose the douche.
Yeah.
Let's see. MX Stilgar, aka Jerry Conway, coming back again. Shalom, gentlemen. Please check your email for subject deepfake predicted in the 1980s. Text only, short read.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Will do.
All right.
Yeah, this one's pretty short. He says, The Running Man is a dystopian thriller novel by American writer Stephen King. Sorry. First published in 1982 as a paperback original. Novel is set in dystopian United States in the year 2025. It was made into a film starring Arnold in 1987 as an honorable law enforcement officer ordered to fire upon food writers. When he refuses, the state engineers deepfake videos to produce the evidence in a trial to declare him as an enemy of the state. He is sentenced to a game show where he must survive being hunted by formidably armed hunters. Deepfake predicted in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it was a lot.
I remember that movie. It came out when we were kids.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact. I just learned this today. The chick that's dating Arnold, who is a physical therapist for a bunch of famous footballers and whatnot, her mom actually owned a home in a town probably like 45 minutes away from me here in BFE, Nebraska.
Jimmy, I don't give a fuck about Hollywood.
Let me look at my hands. There's not a fuck damn shit or flying furry rat's ass to
get through these super chats.
I got a tomahawk here with $10. Listening while I'm getting my garden in. Gentlemen, if you're not producing as much as your own food as possible, you're retarded.
Yeah. I am producing more and more of my own food, and I share with others as well.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I forgot to bring eggs.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have to go through the ones I have already.
Oh, okay.
So in other words, Steve, you're saying you have no eggs?
He's got chickens, so he has eggs.
All right, let's see here. We'll scroll down here. A lot of everybody here in the chats here. Let's get, Professor Blake, Pooh Ass Blaster 3000 coming in. Hey guys, good show tonight.
There you go.
There you go. That one was not for me. That was from Professor Blake.
There you go.
As a special request. See, Frank Rizzo 1 with $10 says thumbs up equals not nice. Nice, not thumb in the butt.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see here. Single for Life has a request for me. So you know what? I think we have that one here.
Which one is it?
Well, we've seen enough of the
if you put Nancy up there, I'm just gonna
no. This one's either between the big blue dildo of death or motherfucker Carlson. And you know what? I think a motherfucker Carlson is
okay
in order.
Bitches born in the 90s that's under 25 can't cook, can't clean. They don't want to work nothing. Niggas that's 31 and over get in relationships with them and wonder why shit ain't working. That's because all young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
Fair enough.
That part is never not funny.
It will always be funny. Professor Blake Pooh Ass Blaster 3000 coming back in. He says, looks like Battle Dwarf belongs on the gay cruise.
Oh no.
I mean, like this cruise that Pop went on?
That's what I looked like 30 pounds ago.
Whitest boy ever.
Yep. I have no rhythm.
If you ever wondered what whiter than Wonder Bread looks like, there you go.
There you go.
See, Clip 3188 coming in here with $5 says, oh God, yeah, I heard about this today. Have you heard about the Boy Scouts are changing their name to be, quote, more inclusive?
Yes.
But Girl Scouts are not.
Yeah.
People forget the original founders both agreed horny adolescences need to be taught separately.
I would have
my theory is the Girl Scouts are just a cookie company that is using child labor. So
I was in the Boy Scouts when I was in middle school for a couple of years. It was cool, but women came in there, and then they pushed for the gay scout leaders, and it just fucking ruined the whole thing.
How did that work out?
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't work out very good at all.
No. See, Mando coming back. He says, Palpatine for 2024. His administration will be electrifying.
I am a personal fan of Cthulhu for president.
Okay.
Why settle for the lesser evil?
Yeah, just go for the primeval. Just
there you go. There you go.
Just go for the primeval. Let him come down. Let his tentacles do the work and whatnot. Yeah. Let's see. Alucard 1776 coming in. My trees are doing well, and I have garlic coming in along with onions.
Nice.
My dad used to grow garlic as big as softballs.
All right.
The entire freaking clove is fucking amazing.
Amazing.
Let's see. Looks like last one here on Rumble, unless anyone wants to sneak in again. We got a Tomahawk with $5. To clarify my last post, they're attacking the food supply at every turn. Yes, they are. Don't be caught off guard. Nobody wants cannibalism.
That's true.
That is true.
Yep.
And he wanted this.
God damn.
Brutal on the what did we do to deserve that, though, man?
What is wrong with you, man, that you want
How
Nancy?
did this get started?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Torment us, I guess.
Let's see. Looks like we had one more come over on YouTube. We got Dylan with the $9.99. It says section 9. Did you guys know 999 is 666 upside down? Invert the inverter.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just 999 and 666 is an entirely different number.
Could be. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that and you have B, D, P, and Q are the exact same letter. just in a different position.
Or maybe you're gonna FAFOPDQ.
I was gonna follow that up with it's in a different position, just like Pop 6.
You're gonna get me sued. Stop it. Stop it. You're gonna get me sued.
I said X. I didn't go any further.
Hey, let's not take it any farther.
Broken Pine
No
284 chimed in on Rumble just now, says, take my fake Canadian money with $10. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
There you go. Looks like Alucard has a request.
Oh no.
A very despicable request. It may or may not make Pop puke, but so bad. Oh, you guys are bastards for asking that.
Yep.
Let's see here. All righty. Let's see here. We'll jump over here. Looks like nothing over on MGTOW.tv, but I'm pretty sure the taps is going good and strong. Looks like it is over there. Best chat on the internet, guys. If you're not over there, you're fucking up by the numbers. Anyways, we'll jump over to Odyssey here, and it looks like the only one that's donated is Big Mike's Raging Rectum Wrecking Purple-Headed Prostate Puncher.
Jeez,
Okay.
That's a mouthful, and that's what Barry said. Let's see. We'll go here. This first one. Battle Hobbit, do you have these steps for information requests, FOIA requests, instructions written down or available on the Redonkulas website? I want to do this for my own voting information and provide these.
Hobbit, I'm going to send you incorrect information. Yes, of course I do. Email Pop. I'll
forward it to him. We'll get you hooked up.
And he says, and provide these simple instructions on a 3x5 card when I get my Amazon business up and running. Filed my LLC in Wyoming.
All right.
Nice.
Not too far away from my area. His second one here. Take a page from Chucky Schumer's speech. Call the show The Erection Insurrection. Create the thumbnail for the video with a picture from the cruise.
Oh my God.
God.
Stop.
Savage.
Just imagine that, having Chuck Schumer's head photoshopped on a buff dude with his banana hammock hanging out.
That's horrible.
Wow. Disturbing. I'm going to have to assess half a point for that one. God damn it. Let's see. His third one here says, regarding income tax and Federal Reserve, Pop, did you read The Creature from Jekyll Island yet?
I have not.
Read the book, God damn it!
I will.
We'll get there. We have a lot to do.
And Battle Hobbit, if he hasn't started reading Barrage of Black Straws.
Don't do it.
I'm actually out of dicks.
Here's two right
I just said that.
That's what she said
out loud on the air.
All right.
Let it be known the Battle Dwarf is out of dicks.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I deserve that one.
Let's see. And his next one here. They aren't taking over my schools. Run for school board. Yes.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
I spend about 5 hours a month in my duties. That's it. Get to work. Yep. Save your and your descendants and country.
Even if you don't have kids, the kids that are in schools right now, when you're in an old folks' home, they're the one that's going to be running this show. Do you want them to be Marxist shitbags?
Probably not.
So that you can get beat by a Haitian nurse every night and then maybe raped by an Iraqi nurse?
Nice.
Or when the next scamdemic comes around, you have certain basketball Americans to be put into your room and you get beaten.
Yeah. That happened here in Michigan quite a bit. We lost like 10,000 people in nursing homes in Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah. Put them in the old folks' home. It'll be fine.
Get in your school boards, even if you don't have children. You know what needs to be done. Go fucking do it. I don't have kids in there. Yeah, but you're going to be old one day.
Yes.
You're going to be old one day, and they're going to be running the show. Now, what do you want running the show? Now go make that.
You may not have kids, but I'm pretty sure you don't want anyone else's other kids learning about Ornpay or gay butt sex or anything like they're talking about in school. Yeah. Get involved, folks. And his Big Mike's last one here says, women have no place in the field. I spent almost 4 years as an EMT in San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are fucking useless.
Yeah.
Every time we had a large patient, we needed to contact fire for a lift assistance. This was in spite of having powered gurneys. No more commentary for me. Completely broke now.
Yeah, there's no way a female, unless she is abnormally strong, is going to be able to move like a 180-pound patient.
I would never.
Sorry.
In Iraq, there was 3 occasions where I actually fired the driver of my vehicle because they tried to put a woman in there. I'm like, nope.
You're fired. Bye.
Like, get out of here. I'll find my own driver.
Yeah.
You're not it.
So you gave her the orange man bad treatment?
I just said, listen.
You're fired.
Yeah,
Get out of my office.
Wearing armor and weapons, I was like 220, 230. A 127-pound woman is not going to be able to move me out of a burning vehicle. I do not want that person to be my driver.
I taught the buddy carry class at PLDC, at the whole prep and carry and all of that. And I made everybody carry their battle buddy 100 yards. And most of them struggled with it. And we had an all-male class.
Mm-hmm.
No female is going to be able to pick up a 160-pound male with his gear and go 100 yards.
No.
She's going to make it about 4 or 5 feet.
Yes.
No. Well, I mean, there are women out there that can do that, but if you're a male and you're attracted to that female, somehow the Sigma alpha males will call you gay for that. Even though it's a biological female.
We are rabbit holing. You are correct, though.
You are correct.
Rabbit holing. Well, as long as we're not cornholing, that's fine with me. That's how you get dick word, man.
Cornholing rabbits?
Don't
answer that question. Carry on.
Yeah, keep going.
I plead the fifth. But let's see. We'll jump over here to D-Live. We got 6 viewers there. All righty. No lemons from over there. We got 15 over on Twitch. And looks like we got a couple Cash Apps in the email there. I know I saw them. Where did they go?
We got Alex.
On mouse. Yep. We got Heidi. She threw in a $50 donation. So you know what? She gets the first one of these tonight. Where is it at? Where's the not worthy?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
She also put a comment in there.
Yeah.
Yep. And she says, I actually saw them cheat and the announcers react.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that was bad. And let's see. We got Alex Patino. He threw in $10. Says, it's been a while. Cheers.
Thank you.
If I had a fresh beer, I would cheers you that one for Alex. But thank you very much for that. Let's see, let me just take one more quick look. I don't
we got
want
a couple more on Rumble.
Yeah, we did have a couple more on Rumble. Cliff is asking for something for laughs. He wants the ball snap fart.
Oh no!
The what?
We do not have that one. That one is a Blake only. That one is a Blake only one.
Well, we had a.
Oh, is that Blake's wizardry?
No. Some guy was fucking around with those exercise bands.
Yeah.
And snapped himself in the balls and then collapsed and like shit himself on the floor. It was quite amusing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. But well, since we don't have that one, you know what? We'll go ahead and play the big blue dildo of wonder. Because that video never gets old as well. Hopefully that one makes up for that one, Cliff. I'll get with Blake and one of these days we'll get together and we'll get those videos all put on here. See, we got Tantalum 180 says, God damn it! We need a remote straw launcher pointed right at Jimmy's mouth, and Pop gets the button. Can I get a fuck all y'all friends?
No, let's not do that.
Yeah, well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Let's see. And Alley Card 1776, he is thanking the Battle Dwarf for all of the yeast information.
You're welcome.
Hopefully it wasn't Amaranth's yeast. Does this beer taste weird? Yeah, it tastes like fish and bad decisions.
Fish and bad decisions. Don't lick the bottle, whatever you do.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. All righty. That looks like we are all caught up on the donations. Let me jump over here to YouTube. We got 464 folks over there with 412 likes. All right. That's a better ratio there, guys. We got 750 over on Rumble. Got 30 over on MGTOW.tv. We have 25 on Odyssey, 5 on DLive, and 15 on Twitch.
We had 2 down.
And, oh, well, they can go wash their pussy in the sink if they're all butthurt about it and get the sand out of their bonus hole.
Yeah, I got you.
But alrighty, Pop, I believe we are ready for safety briefing.
All right, everybody. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. It's not going to work out. If you have to fight, run away if you can, and do everything in your power not to go to the ground, because that's where you get stomped out. If you have to fornicate, if you absolutely must do it, wear a condom, take it with you, flush it down the toilet, and watch it go, because crazy stuff will ensue. Rack up, pack up, stack up, travel in numbers, because there's safety in groups. Maintain your situational awareness, because if you're going to be attacked, something in your environment will be different, and it's up to you to see it. All right.
Alrighty. Battle Dwarf, any final words from you there, good sir?
Township, county, state. Get
There
involved. Get off your ass. It doesn't take a lot. At least pull your voter record and see what's there. Okay.
I'm going to probably do that tomorrow.
Nobody wants to go to Machetteville. Believe me, you don't want to see it.
Yeah, we are not advocating violence at all. We're just telling you, using historical examples, we are heading down that path.
Yeah, Pop and I have both seen that shit. Nobody wants to go to Machetteville.
No, I don't want anything to do with that.
Can we get a parody of Margaritaville? Wasted away again in Machetteville.
I mean, I wish I could walk you through just my head. Walking through Pop's head would probably kill you almost instantly.
Yeah, it's a bad time up there.
Give me enough beer and a couple shots of whiskey. I think I can hang with you guys. Alrighty. On that note, my final words: fear the syrup, and always be questionable of the invisible hand, because that invisible hand may or may not give you a reach around, or it will go right up your ass with no lube.
There you go.
And be sure to wash the cootie juices off your dishes.
Take it easy.
I can't do it! I can't! Doing good in the light. Doing good in the light.